Alright, Willie. I do have one more for you, and this one is, shall we say, a jazz magic sort of an effect. And you started out, and as you started, it might well turn into a miracle. But let me just show you how I typically start. The start is, you can see that I'm actually making this up as I go along. But the start is like this. You get to shuffle the cards. You get to shuffle them as much or as little as you want to. And you shuffle them face up so that there's no possibility of you doing any push through or shallow shuffle, so you can all see them fairly mixed together any way you want to. And I would just ask you, with a face up deck of cards, thank you, with a face up deck of cards, you could just stop wherever you want to. And let's say that they stop here. If you do that, you have a miracle. Because, of course, you're trying to force this card. If they take this card, all these cards are blue, and this is the only red card. Now, the problem with an effect of this nature is that if you get it, you should stop. It's not like there is a follow-up to this. But a really short effect, more often than not, if you don't properly present it, it falls flat. I mean, it doesn't fall flat, but it's not properly appreciated. So in this particular case, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a miracle, and you're trying to sell it as a miracle. And if they don't pick this card, you're in position to do the Chicago Opener. Now, here's one thing that I have to say about the Chicago Opener. Of all the tricks that people can come up with, the one that I care the least about for them to read a demonstration about or a variation of is the Chicago Opener. An idiot in 5 minutes could come up with at least 2 versions of this. I mean, I don't ever think about what I'm going to do with this. And the Chicago Opener itself is the structure is so very strong that any variation you want to come up with is fine. One thing, for example, just a few things that you can play around with. If you have, I mean, obviously the bilocation bit. This is just, you don't know what the effect is going to be before you start, but bilocation, for example, that would be a great example. So now, in this case, another thing that you could do is you could just do this, and where you sorry, should have been this one here, where you force like this. You say to someone, well, you just say stop, and you force this with you know, with the Marlowe fingertip control. You can cut the cards, and now you can, for my sake, you can, I don't know, shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in-jog the next one. So this card now would be, if you gave it this sort of cut, sort of like a halo cut. The bottom card would stay at the bottom, which is the red back one. This one wouldn't be, but you could just go through the cards and do you're in position to do the you know, this force, the under Roy Walton, whatever. And you just say stop here, and they remember this card, and of course you're 2 ahead in a sense, because you say, okay, you remember this card, we'll put it back, and you'll remember that, whichever card you want to take out, because yeah, I'm sorry. So you force the second card, and then you ask him to take out whichever card he wants. So the last card is perfectly free, and you, as per standard, you can do. I mean, you can do this. I mean, just any one cut, and you're in position to finish as per the Chicago Opener. So you say, okay, so your card, you've chosen any card quite freely. This is this card, yes? Now you just thought of a card, that's this card here, yes? And you pick the card, what's the name of your card, and then they say 2 of clubs, and you turn it over, and they turn it over, or you turn it over. they didn't change another time. Obviously, it's the same card, but it seems to be a coincidence because okay, so you thought of one, that's their card, but they haven't shown anyone else. And what was the name of your card? Two of clubs. And I said, but that was my card. It's an additional effect. I'm sorry. Gravity is just not my friend today. But there's a thousand other things you can do. I don't know, all of these things. So this is your card, and you do the mechanical whatever thing. I mean, any technique is fine. Any change is fine. You can do this. You could probably do something like this, where you change the red back card, and that longitudinal palm sort of thing. Any one of those. Any technique that you have. I mean, I can't explain a jazz magic routine to you, but the reason why I point this out to you is because if you have confidence that you can do some jazz magic, or you have confidence that you can turn it into a miracle, the initial miracle where they themselves shuffle, and if it's in the center, you know how to do. You just go over the cards, point to any card, doesn't matter. And I mean, the initial thing is so fair to any card. The reason for them shuffling face up is for them to take the path of least resistance. So if there's any notion that a force could be used, the force is that much less likely to succeed. So the initial force, you can be very free about this. Well, just pick whichever card, and if you just go over like this, but when you just get to the two of clubs, just pick any card. You just have a little dip of the hand. You're pointing at the card subconsciously, preconsciously, whatever. Any card, something like that. It's already exposed. You turn away. You don't care. When they pick, that's the other thing. If they should now pick the card, you turn away. This is like the classic force behind your back. It's like not looking, Max Maloney or whoever did this. But you have all this going for you, and you turn back around. If they picked it, you have a miracle, but you sold it as a miracle from the get-go. So if they actually do pick this card, this is the fair, and you pick up all the other cards. Now turn these cards face down, and we'll do this again. If you're a magician, you can do a spread. I mean, you can have the spectator magician or someone who at least handles cards well enough to do that. They can do that themselves. They can see they're all. You're not touching the cards, and this card turns red. This is not the sort of thing that you want to do as a follow-up, or yes, you could do this at the climax of a routine, but you can't do it at the beginning of a routine. So anyhow, but the only way you're going to sell this is if you believe that it really doesn't matter. And I don't care if you pick the card or not. If you pick the card, that's fantastic. That's really great. And if you don't pick the card, I have fun doing jazz magic. So if you ever have a reason to at least give it a try, because whatever, with your expertise and with your competence in cards in general, you have 2,000 different techniques that are applicable to having one extra red card in there, a known duplicate. And also, in addition, knowing where the other duplicate is, because you then know where the other two of clubs is. Sky's the limit. Anyhow, the only way, by the way, you're gonna know whether this is just whatever, some theoretical crap, or is good or bad, is to give it a try. I mean, this is the sort of thing. If it helps you in your mind, you think, I'm gonna try and force this card. But if it doesn't work, then you have a reason to try some jazz magic. Anyhow, I hope you like that one. Okay, thank you.